Yo, what's going on, Latin Wealth family? Welcome to another episode to the Latin Wealth Podcast. This is another episode of Wealth Wednesday, hosted by myself and Jeremiah. And you guys already know if you've been tuning in, this is a weekly podcast episode that's dedicated to educating our community about what's going on in the world as far as business, entrepreneurship, finances, and so forth and so forth. So we want to come on here and educate you guys as much as possible so you can apply these principles to your business, to your life, and whatnot. So before we get into the topics that we have today, Jeremiah, how you feeling, bro? How you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, feeling motivated. I say that probably every week, but I'm super excited. I put you on the spot today, so I'm excited, and I got my notes ready. So I'm ready, man. I'm ready for some game to be dropped.
Yeah, let's get it. So, as always, Jeremiah and I go back and forth about like, yo, what should we talk about this week? How can we switch it up? How can we give you guys some game and some perspective on business, finance, life, mental health, whatever the case is? We want to come on here, provide that value. And if you guys follow me a little bit, you guys know that I am in the marketing space. So Jeremiah was like, yo, give us some game about marketing. What does it take to run a successful marketing campaign, right? Give us 5 steps. Give us 5 steps to to jump into the marketing space, right? And I was like, bet I can do that, right? Because when you think a lot of people when they think of marketing, and I work with small business owners, the first thing they think of is social media. Like that's what they immediately go to. And that's fair because social media can definitely be an essential part of marketing, but it is not your whole marketing campaign. It's not your whole marketing plan. If you're just leaning on social media, then you probably don't even have a strategy of like posting and even like trying to generate leads from social media. So that's first thing I tell small business owners is like, yo, social media is a part of your marketing plan. It's not the whole thing. So I want to go through 5 steps to running a successful marketing campaign. Now, keep in mind, it all this information, a lot of what you do in business, it depends, right? Like the outcome always depends. And these steps, they can be tweaked. Maybe you take something out, maybe you add something in here. But generally speaking, this is like the 5 steps that I go through mentally when I'm helping somebody with a marketing campaign. So number one, Jeremiah, you brought it up already, is identifying your goal. What do you want to accomplish? What do you want to do with this marketing campaign? I think most people they want to generate revenue. They want to make money. But you'd be surprised to know that different marketing campaigns they want to generate views. They want website visits. They want people to click on their link. There's different things. There's different types of campaigns out there now. Again, we're speaking broadly here. Most people want to make money. They want to get sales to their website, to their services, whatever the case is. So identifying your goal. What is your goal for this marketing campaign? And you can even dig a little deeper and say, like, yo, what is my goal for the next 3 to 6 months? What do I want to accomplish? What are some numbers and metrics that I want to hit? Because if you don't have these numbers and metrics and you outsource marketing to somebody, then
What's
you
success?
with success, you have nothing to lean on. Exactly. Right. So I always ask them, like, what do you want to accomplish within the next 6 months? I want to get sales. Okay. So how many sales? What else? Like, let's dig deep here. Right. And feel free to interrupt me. I'm going to run through these.
No, you're good.
You say you good. Second thing, once you identify your goals, you need to understand who your audience is, who your target audience is. Another thing that I tell small business owners all the time is if you're selling to everybody, you end up selling to nobody.
Hmm.
If you're trying to
Say that
just,
again.
yep,
Say that
I
again.
think, no, I'm saying like if people are saying, yo, I'm just trying to sell to everybody, you're gonna end up selling to nobody because you're just trying this shotgun effect to see what sticks on the wall. You may get a couple sales, that's fair, but you're gonna end up selling to nobody if you have no target audience. If you have nobody that you have in mind. You don't have that. I tell people like, what is it? Who is that avatar in your head? You know what I'm saying? Like you go on you use the iPhone, right? And you can create a little avatar of yourself. Who does that person look like to you? Where do they live? How old are they? Are they 18 to 24 years old? Do they live in Los Angeles? Is it a woman? Is it a male? What school do they go to? And now when I'm asking these questions, it's forcing people to think deeper about who it is they're trying to target,
Yeah,
who it is. Now they got to do research. Now they got to go out and damn near talk to people, which a lot of people don't like to do nowadays. They don't like to go out and do that market research and ask people like, "Yo, what do you think about this
exactly.
product? What do you think about this service?" Right? So when you do that market research, then you can understand who your target audience is. Now, granted, over time, you'll understand it may you may trim out the fat and you may be more specific on who that person is. So instead of 18 to 32-year-old, now you know it's my target audience is 23 to 26. They live
Mhm.
in Dallas, Texas, or whatever the case is, right?
And what's funny is once you hone in and get more specific, you'll find out that it's like way more people than what you could ever handle. Way more client base, right? Like you people think that as you hone in and get more specific, it closes you down, but it actually opens you up because now you can just focus in and there's more than 100 people that fit that description.
100%. That's why a lot of people initially they're like, well, I just want to sell my product to everybody. I want to sell my service to everybody. Well, your product and service is not going to be for everybody. So it's better if you hone in on who that person is. And I would much rather you have 100 people that will buy from you and
Yep.
you only have 200 followers or whatever, opposed to you having 10,000 people that you're trying to target, but only 10 of them buy from you, right?
Exactly.
Be specific. So you got the first one again, identify your goal. Second one, identify your target audience. Who is it that you're trying to sell to? If you don't really like understand like the market research, just picture in your mind what does that avatar look like? What does that person look like? Where do they live? Where do they shop? How much money do they make a year? Right. Third thing is how are you going to reach that target audience? Right. Is it going to be influencer marketing? Is it going to be paid ads? Is it going to be organic content? Again, this is where I think the social media piece will come in. People will just throw in, hey, I want to make content on social media. That's great. But what type of content? Video content. You want to
Mm,
do short form content, long form content. And I'm going through all this not to scare anybody off from creating a marketing campaign, but this is what it takes on a high level to have a successful marketing campaign. And this is what, if you outsource this to other people, th- typically these are the steps that they're going to take. So you might as
or
well, yeah,
or like we were talking about, they're not going to be someone that's completely credible or and the person that has integrity in their business. You have the integrity to ask them up front. If they don't, they'll just take you on a whirlwind and just take your
100%.
money, and you have no
100%.
idea what the metric or what the baseline is for that business because you haven't done any of your own due diligence. We talked about that all the time. So
Due
that's,
diligence.
it could go either way. They may not ask you at all, and they're just taking your money, and you don't even know what's going on. I've seen that in a lot of cases.
100%. That's a great point because just the other day, we were outsourcing SEO to this company. And I'm like, yo, what are you guys doing to target the audience? Like, what, break that down to me. I got to
Please,
know that, right? So
search engine optimization, guys.
yeah, exactly. How are you guys doing that? So that's the great point. To you don't have to have a MBA in marketing, but at least generally know the steps that it takes to run a successful campaign. So from there, you figure out how do you reach these people? What is going to be the cars, the vehicle that you are going to get your offer, your service, your product to these people? How are you going to get there, right? The fourth step, and this one, I was even doing some research on like what are other people saying about marketing campaigns, and
Yeah.
I didn't see very many people saying this. So, but I believe it's extremely important. And the fourth step, I think, is provide value.
I
I
believe
think
that lends it to be one of the most important things. When you have something that's essential and you've seen it be successful, but not a lot of people are talking about it, it's probably very, very essential to success, right? Because usually if you go along with the crowd, you know how that works.
Yeah, 100%. So providing value, what does that look like? I know after people are like, yo, I found my vehicle, I found my target audience, I know my goals. Can I just make the sale? You know what I'm saying? Can I just sell to them?
Don't be
And let me,
transactional.
no, don't be transactional. Exactly. And the crazy thing is, I don't know if the statistic is the same, but on average, somebody needs to see a product or a service over 7 times before they purchase one time. So by you just going straight for the kill, straight for the sell, there's a high chance that you're not going to get that sell, and you're going to be upset that your marketing is not working, right?
And
So
all salespeople know that. What do they tell
yes,
you? 4 to 6 interactions before you make the sale, right? This is standard leads. This is standard stuff. So it correlates. What you just said correlates on the
there
sales
you go,
side. So
there
you
you
know
go.
this, right? Sales and marketing go hand in hand. You got to get the marketing first, and then it leads to sales. So
100%. And yeah, what does that look like for marketing as far as providing value? It can be consistent podcast episodes. It could be having them sign up to a valuable email list, right? Not just selling them on that email list, but like providing value, make them want to open it up, right? So providing valuable content. Maybe you do a free consultation, something like that. There's different ways to provide value to these people, and that's something that Gary V, he's
yeah,
always preached about
yep.
since the beginning of time. He had a book called Jab Jab Right Hook, and this it always stuck with me. And so the jabs represent value, value, value. The right hook is the sell, is the call to action. So, people in the marketing space are always preaching value, 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 value first. And
Mhm.
then when you have that call to action where you want them to buy something, the value has been provided so much that the cost, it outweighs the cost. It outweighs whatever it is that you're presenting to them.
And I think in so many cases, what ends up happening is you're presenting or doing whatever it is that your product is, whatever, however, but you haven't actually correlated what's the value, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the end result and how it benefits that person or that organization that you're talking to. And so when there's no value that's linked to it, you're just another salesman, you're just another
Mm-hmm.
vendor,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so all the marketing did a great job of getting the attention of the person, but now on that side, they're like, oh, this was just a ploy. This was just to pull us in. It was just to hook us in. So
Yeah. And price is only an issue when there's a loss of value.
agreed.
If you think about it, think about these Louis bags out here. It's only an issue. The price is only an issue if it's a loss of value. For other people, many people out there, that's like that's not worth it. But for a
Right.
select group of people, it is worth it. Whether it's the manufacturing, the quality, whatever it is that's valuable to them, the status of having that bag is valuable to them. Same thing with cars. Same thing with anything that we buy. Right.
Sure.
Um, the price that you pay for something is only an issue if there's a loss of value. Keep that in mind. And it can be any price. It can be a $5 product. It can be a $5,000 product. It don't matter. And then the fifth step is your call to action, which everybody loves. A good call to action. And that can be anything. That can be your sales pitch. It can be you even directing people to a different video or a different podcast. That's all it is. Your CTA is your call to action. So that's what I would say the 5 steps to a successful marketing campaign. Of course, it can be changed. It can be, there's different things that can be changed about this, but identifying your goal, understand your target audience, how are you going to reach them? What is the vehicle that's going to get you there? Providing value, and then hitting them with your call to action. And your call to action doesn't always have to be a sales pitch.
First and foremost, I'm over here taking notes. And I'm in. So I told Chris, I was like, yo, I got my notes together. So I'm gonna be getting notes phenomenal. The fifth step, I think, and I love it the way you said it. It could be directing them to a different video. It could be directing them into a one-on-one consulting session or everything. I
100%.
think that right now the way things are growing and how I've seen the people that have been most successful, that call to action wasn't the sales pitch. I
Mm-hmm.
think some of the most successful people, what I've seen is it pushes you to another value add. And then that after that value add or based upon that, right, one-on-one consultation or whatever, we could see if it even fits for you or something. But I've seen some of the most successful people, it's not the sales pitch because I think people are waiting for that, right? You like boom, you hit you with the sound effects and right. That's the marketing. You boom, and if you're 18 and right, boom, there it goes. That's going down, and then it moves into giving the value of what it actually does, and then the call to action is always at the end of the commercial, right? And it comes and it says, "Well, you can," and
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's just a standard
Yep. Yep.
commercial.
A
Versus,
hundred percent. Yep.
oh, you get to get this one-on-one consultation, and I've seen that be super successful, man. So I think that the way step four is the most for me is the number one
Mm-hmm.
out of that whole list value. So
Yeah,
great
100%. And
steps.
what you what you just really identifies there is a funnel, right?
Yeah,
And you can
that's what
funnel
it is.
people into
Mm-hmm.
whatever you want to do, right? You can funnel them over here to the one-on-one consultation,
Mm-hmm.
funnel them over here to this free ebook or course, whatever
For
that they can
sure.
consume, and they just continue down the funnel to a point
And
where they have to buy.
the
Yeah,
best funnels, they create right an ecosphere
yep,
and you stay inside of that person's circle. So even
yep.
if you didn't go and purchase whatever it was that's going on, you're so stuck inside the ecosphere, right? That notification of their new short that they just cut on YouTube,
Mm-hmm.
you get that. The new video that they just did, the new content. And so you're so enwrapped and engulfed in it, eventually you're gonna get something, right?
Perfect example for me, at least. I know Jeremiah won't agree, but Apple products.
No, I do agree. I
You
do
know,
agree.
no, I'm saying you don't agree as a far like
Yeah, I
you're
won't buy
not
them,
team
but I
Apple.
do agree. No, I agree with what you're saying.
You
They do
agree
it.
with the psychology behind it.
Yes.
Like, yo,
Yes.
I got the iPhone, I got to get the
Yes.
Mac, I got to get the
Yep.
AirPods because it just
Yep.
all kind of just goes with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a great example. You know,
It
Apple
did.
does a phenomenal job of that.
I
Once
agree.
you're in there, it's like it's hard to get out of it.
You can't get out.
Yeah,
Exactly. I agree. No, I definitely agree with that. Man,
which is
phenomenal
crazy to
session,
think about.
Chris. I got
Yeah,
the notes, man. I love that.
yeah. You know, gotta drop some game once in a while. We can continue talking about like different aspects of business and whatnot. Maybe we'll continue doing some of these sessions on further episodes. But look, we want to come on here, give you the game so you can go do your research, do your due diligence, as Jeremiah loves to say, and apply it to your business. Maybe
Yeah.
you find two or three of these on this list that are great, and you're like, yo, the rest of those are trash, Chris. It's all good with me. You know, whatever
Drop the
works for you.
comments. Leave it in the
Yeah.
comments. Like, let us know
Yeah.
how you guys feel and how you think the implementation of these things worked, because that's why we do it. We're giving that game for you to go and implement it and see how it works for you. And then, like Chris said, you can add in, maybe the steps go different in yours. Then let us
Yep.
know. I want to
I'd
hear
love to
about it.
know.
Yep.
Would love to know. Love to know. So moving on a little bit, and you brought up, videos. I brought up short form content and whatnot.
Mhm.
Man, something crazy that's been, going on lately is these
Wow.
tech savvy criminals have been latching onto advancement of AI or artificial intelligence and attempting to con millions of people online. And essentially, what they're doing is they're using social media scams, which we know that's been going on,
Oh,
voice
wow.
cloning,
Yeah.
and really the rise of highly sophisticated deep fakes is what they're calling it,
Yeah.
to potentially dupe unexpected members of the public. And unfortunately, elderly people are at
Elder.
risk because they're
Yeah.
just not in the loop about what's going on. And it's crazy. I've been wanting to talk about this for a minute. And I seen a video the other day and I was like, yo, this is insane. So the first 2 seconds of a video was a video of Steve Harvey, right? Real quick, just Steve Harvey. You know who he is. And the video is essentially using a voice clone of Steve Harvey's voice.
Mm-hmm.
I knew it wasn't him, but it was pretty damn close.
Mm-hmm.
It was probably like 95% there, like, okay, this is like damn near Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, like, yo, there's a new program where you can sign up and you get $3,500. It's like the new what were they? The stimulus check. It's a new
Mm-hmm.
stimulus check for the United States, and
Mm-hmm.
they're showing all these people with the money and whatnot, $3,500, and it's Steve Harvey talking, or the AI version of Steve Harvey.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we've spoken about scams before. We've spoken about using celebrities and getting our community to buy into whatever they're selling or whatever service it is, right? And I'm telling you, bro, like I knew it wasn't Steve Harvey because he's not going to be doing an ad like this on YouTube. It was a video ad that came up. I actually watched the whole thing because I'm like, yo, this is crazy that someone's doing this. The voice sounded just like Steve Harvey. It wasn't Steve Harvey. It was an AI tool that they use, and they're basically trying to get people's information, not giving them $3,500, probably trying to take that out of your account.
Exactly. And I think that that's wild. I had a personal, something very similar to that. I had a personal story or, something to share. Um, and I'll say this is something that's personal and it happened. It's not so much deep fake. Um, but what it is, I'll just go ahead and say it. It's something that touches super. They're like, dang, just get to it. It's my dad, man. It's something. So my father
Mm-hmm.
has been victim of stuff like this, but it was Instagram and
Mm-hmm.
that type of stuff scamming. So this is even worse, right? And realization of this is someone inside of my organization, outside of the Instagram, whatever going on, right? Someone inside of my organization, their father-in-law actually received a call, and it was an AI person talking on the phone, and said, "Oh, you owe taxes," and right.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, but the person sounded like,
A real
uh,
person.
yeah, there was like but it was some actor or something that was relatable to that age group or whatever,
Oh,
and
okay,
it
okay.
like and got $50,000.
Dang.
$50,000.
That's
This is from a
nuts, bro.
person that's 64 years old.
They don't know no better.
Right. So it's just when you say that in the deep fakes,
Damn.
and I'm hearing it. I mean, I saw my dad, and his wasn't a deep fake. It was just scammers and
Mm-hmm.
whatever, right? But in that same realm, there was this case that we're talking about, and it was just like it was deep fake.
Bro, and I mean, when I seen that video, the first person I thought of was my grandma. Because my
Wow.
grandma loves her some what's it called? Family Feud.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So if she's seen a video of Steve Harvey talking about $3,500, put your information in.
You're not going,
Okay.
and they don't know the difference.
They
You and
don't.
I,
No.
right? So, because
Yeah.
we're up to, like, we're like
Yeah.
you could tell something was off, but if you're not hip to that, you wouldn't notice.
You wouldn't know. Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think the week before, they've been using Joe Rogan a lot. So
Wow.
they have him like in the studios. He loves talking about the supplements and whatnot. They have him, they'll show him for the first 5 seconds in the studio. Then they switch to these supplements talking about, I love using these while I work out, and my mental capacity is through the roof. I'm like, yo, this is insane. This is crazy. So the reason
And
why we
it's
want to break, go ahead,
and
go ahead,
that's
go
a
ahead.
and that's a very like credible person, right?
A
That you would
hundred percent.
associate obviously with that type of, right, that line or that genre. And so
Yeah,
now they're
yeah.
digging even into people that are credible within this, like, right? So it's like it's hard. There's multi-layered scam here because it's
A
not just a
hundred.
recognizable face.
Man, it's getting ugly out here. Let me tell you. We spoke about people in our own community doing it. We got these
Yeah, man.
AI tools doing it. So we bring this up never to just scare you guys, but to
No.
educate you guys about what people are doing, what different. And this type of scam. This is only going to get improved and better
More
because,
elaborate.
like I said, it was like that sounded about 95% like Steve Harvey, but it's going to get to a point where it sounds 100% like him,
That's
right?
crazy.
So look, we just have to look out for these things. If there's ever anybody out there that's asking you for your information, asking you for money, don't give it. And if you're like, one thing I will say about my grandma, she'll call me and be like, "Yo, I got a call from this number." I'm like, don't even trip about it. Like, don't even respond. You know what I'm saying? Don't respond to that email talking about you can get a free TV.
and and they do the things that associate with the age group, right? And
Yeah,
I to
yeah,
me it seems super sinister because you're picking on a group of people that are very vulnerable,
yeah,
and it's elderly people, man. Like, if you I'm not saying it's any better to scam a regular age person, right? Because you
yeah,
shouldn't be scamming, period. But at least they have kind of like, they're up with you like, because you can look at them and be like, bro, really, did you think,
yeah,
right? But like
yeah,
an elderly person, you can't do that. And so they're
yeah.
so vulnerable, man. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think there's a special place where for people like
Mm,
that do those
mm,
type of things. Because if you could take advantage of an elderly person, then that you're a low
yeah,
person, man. You're a different type of person.
yeah. You get you yeah, yeah. I was gonna say you deserve to be in there with gasoline draws on. That's what we
Oh,
used to
100%.
say.
I'm with you. 100%. 100%.
So again, we just to bring this back full circle, watch out for some of the things that are going on. And I would even, if you come across something like this, I say look at it and like see what they're doing and what this is, right? Not to create that fear, but to educate yourself. Like what I did, I actually watched the video and was like, obviously I'm not going to click on this thing, but like this is actually pretty crazy that they're doing this because
Before you make that choice, even if it seems extremely great, a great offer and great things. It sounds like something you've been praying for or whatever. I would say before you make that, especially our elderly community, if we have people that are watching or whatever, or even if you're our age and you're watching, check in on your elderly
mm-hmm.
family members.
Yeah,
Ask them to let you be that person that they contact. If something like
yeah,
that happens to them, please contact you first so you can vet it. Not saying that it's not true. I don't know. I'm not saying everything's a scam. We're just saying let there be some type of baseline or person that's going to vet that, right? And filter it and say, like, grandma, this isn't a good thing.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 100%. Love that. How you feeling, man? Do you wanna give them a little bit more, or you wanna think we gave them a lot today?
I think that's enough. I think we
Yeah,
should save that next thing for next week because
yeah,
that's probably going to take some time. You got to get a little bit into that one. It's up
yeah.
to
We'll,
you.
we'll, t- we'll we'll tease it a little bit. So what we were going to talk about is the credit card crisis that's going on right now in America. We do want to spend a little bit more time on that. I don't want to just throw it out there for 5 minutes and just, we want to dig into that and really understand what's going on and give you guys practical steps. So that's going to be one of the topics that we're going to hit on next week. And you guys know we're consistent with these episodes. It would mean the world to us if you can share these episodes with at least one person, just one person out there that needs to hear this information. It would mean the world to us. We're trying to help our community. We are going to help our community,
For
and we're going
sure.
to be consistent with this. So we're going to tease that episode next week, and there's also going to be some other things that we'll talk about as well. And with that being said, it's a lot in both family. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.